Hey everybody, it's April Davis PI. It is September 27th, 2025, and here we are. This is a follow up on the whole situation regarding the New Gelson's Fresh Market and the Toluca Lake U.S. Post Office. Yeah, this series started on August 9th, 2022. I'll link the prior videos in the description of this video, but I have the latest update on the Gelsons and the new proposed location of the so-called permanent Toluca Lake Post Office. Yeah, this has just been a fiasco from day one, from the building finally shutting down to the porta trailer behind Patty's to the moving of the PO boxes to the Chandler Post Office, and now the latest neighborhood rumors. you know, you're going to get a laugh out of this. You can't be angry. You just have to laugh about this and roll with the punches. So stay tuned to this video and you will see what is getting ready to happen. Well, here we go. I just reset the trip meter here, and I'm going to take you on a little spin through the heart of Toluca Lake, and we're going to go to the NoHo 91601 post office, where they have temporarily relocated all the PO boxes that previously served Toluca Lake 91602. Yes, as I was saying in the previous clip here, that the post office, the original little neighborhood post office, I believe it closed up in 2022 or 2023. I'm going to have to look through my video playlist. I've got maybe 2 or 3 videos at least on the progress where the old post office basically shut down, and then they moved the post office or the PO boxes to a little trailer behind Patty's, and that was always meant to be temporary. And then there was a rumor that the new post office was going to go inside the Gelsons. Now, as I said in the last clip, that Gelsons is like a little mini Gelsons or a micro Gelsons. It hasn't even opened yet. It was supposed to open, like, I think by the end of 2023. So this has been going on at least 3 years. I can't wait actually to edit this and find out when this whole mess started. Unbelievable. At first, people didn't even know where they were going to get their mail. 91602, they don't distribute the mail to the neighborhood. It's simply a neighborhood Toluca Lake Post Office, which is actually, for those of you not familiar with LA, we are located in the city of Los Angeles, and this area is actually North Hollywood. We'll let this bus go ahead. North Hollywood 91602, but that original post office, hey, there's the pumpkin patch, was located in the sub-neighborhood of Toluca Lake. Yeah. And don't tell anybody who actually lives in the real Toluca Lake that they live in North Hollywood. Well, actually, we all live in Los Angeles. So, yeah. City of LA, neighborhood of North Hollywood 91602, and sub-neighborhood of Toluca Lake. Now, getting back to the post office, they put that little trailer there. It was just a little portable trailer that was up on jacks, sitting right next to the 134. I always worried that maybe a semi-truck or something was going to have an accident there and, jump off the freeway and, go into that place. It was very, I don't know, being a PI and investigating so many accidents in my career, thousands of accidents, amongst other things, it just always seemed like a place that was so dangerous. And at least there was some parking back there. There was more parking there at the temporary trailer post office than there was at the original post office that had like 2 or 3 spaces that were always full. So that was kind of the saving grace of that place. Is yeah, it was, you know, you had to go behind Patty's, but there was a lot more places to park. So that was at the advantage. Now if you're watching this, you can fast forward through my drive, but I'm going to count the miles to see how far, that if you actually live in Toluca Lake, how far you would have to drive if you had a post office box in Toluca Lake. Well, assuming that you actually live there too. This is quite the ways. Let's see. We're going to go up to the Chandler post office. There's multiple ways to get there, by the way. You can cut across on Cahuenga to Chandler. I could have turned right on Lancashire going northbound and then go west on Chandler, but this is the fastest way. It's just to go around to this little funky intersection. There's 2 funky intersections in North Hollywood, and this is the second busiest. And we're actually going to come back to this in the next clip, and I'll tell you why when we get back to this intersection. So remember this. Remember the corner of Riverside, Camarillo, and Tujunga at the 170 freeway. Yeah, see the little Starbucks off to the right? Yeah, you need to keep that Starbucks in mind. I can't wait to tell you why. In fact, I kind of dread telling you why. I wish I didn't have to tell you why this intersection is going to become important in the coming months. Now, at least this light isn't as bad as the Lancashire Vineland light. Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. And we're just going to cruise up here. It's quite a ways, actually. This USPS NoHo 91601 is quite the distance from the old Toluca Lake Post Office and the Toluca Lake Temporary Post Office. Yeah, I've already driven 2 miles, and I'm not even there yet. Yeah, I've been measuring right next to the parking lot that was behind the Patties. And that's all blocked off now, as you saw in the first clip. You're getting a little tour, people. People that aren't from LA, here's a little tour. We're traveling northbound on Tujunga. To the left, we have North Hollywood Park. And at this corner of Magnolia and Tujunga, probably can't see it on camera, but because it's off to the left of me, there is the bronze Amelia Earhart statue. Yeah, that's because Amelia, she's from Toluca Lake. Yeah, I don't live too far from the Amelia Earhart estate. And here we go, where we get up to this funky area here. And we are almost there. We don't want to block the fire station, that's for sure. And we are legally able to turn right here, so we will do so. And I am going to pull up to a meter. Well, I'm going to try. Maybe not. Let me pull into this parking lot. Oh, there goes a meter. As soon as we get to that meter, I'm going to tell you exactly how far we have come. This is crazy. To drive all the way over here. I mean, if I were, 30 years younger, it wouldn't be a big deal, but, I'm old now. Old and crippled, so let's see where we are. Okay, there's an open meter. So I'm going to pull up to this little post office right here, which is, as I said earlier, the USPS Chandler branch, North Hollywood 91601. And I drove literally 2.7 miles from the temporary Toluca Lake post office to get here. So yeah, that's, you know, almost 2.7 miles from the original Toluca Lake post office to where the boxes were moved after they closed the trailer in the temporary office. I'm going to, since I'm here, I might as well walk upstairs and drop off a package. Well, we are back. That was an interesting trip inside. Luckily it was Saturday, so there's no line. Only a couple people ahead of me. But I had a very interesting conversation with that man. I can't even believe it. But you know what? He was a cool dude because he said the exact same thing that I've said. Told him that, or I asked him if he knew where the new, you know, permanent Toluca Lake post office was going to be. And he goes, no, we don't know yet. They always say that. They don't know. They're not telling them. And while I'm telling you this story, we're going to drive back to that funky intersection. And I'm going to explain what's going to happen over there, maybe. So I talked to the guy and he says, no, we don't know. And I said, do you know when there's finally going to be a Toluca Lake post office? And he goes, well, they're telling us January or February. Now that would be January or February of 2026. And I know I've repeated myself in this video, but we're going to have to look at the older videos to see when I started filming this series. And once again, I'm going to link the whole series in the description of this video. Rather than messing with the cars, I'm just going to do a whole list of all the videos that I have on this. Now we're going down Lancashire Boulevard. We're in the heart of NoHo 91601. And so when I'm talking to the guy in the post office, I told him I've heard a rumor. And he goes, I've heard rumors too. What's your rumor? And I gave him a location, and he laughed and he goes, oh, I've heard the same rumor. And I said, if that's true, that's going to be a nightmare. And he goes, I know. He says, technically, that's not even Toluca Lake. No, it's not Toluca Lake. In fact, it's not even within the borders of West Toluca Lake, which, by the way, real estate-wise, West Toluca Lake doesn't even exist. It's, you know, NoHo 91602 between Studio City and Toluca Lake. All sub-neighborhoods of NoHo, which is a sub-neighborhood of LA. I mean, come on. It gets so confusing. And the reason I know all these borders is because my 41-year career as a PI. And here we go. We're going to the other funky intersection in NoHo, which is at Camarillo, Vineland, and Lancashire. And that light, to go through that light, is about 6 minutes. And I hate that light. Everybody in this area hates that light. But let me tell you, if the rumor that I heard, which is the same rumor the postal clerk heard at 91601 is true, then anybody coming through Toluca Lake, you're going to have to go through that mess. Yes, you're going to have to go through that mess. You're going to have to exit Toluca Lake. Now on the left here, these condos and apartments, they're technically still West Toluca Lake. But on the right, no more Toluca Lake of any kind. And this building we're coming to, by the way, I think the reason that the other businesses at this building went out of business is because the parking is always full because of Starbucks. So if you have to pull into this location, which by the way is fenced off, looky here. I'm going to temporarily pull into Starbucks because the parking lot is closed. And I'm going to get out of the car and I am going to show you what you're going to be dealing with, people, if this rumor turns out to be true. Hopefully not. Well, here we are. We're at the northeast corner of Riverside Drive and Camarillo Street. Yeah, they recently painted over the graffiti in this building. I'll post an address up on screen when I get back to the editing process to look it up. But this location, which is not Toluca Lake or even West Toluca Lake, could be your future Toluca Lake post office. This is the rumor. You won't be able to park. Everybody will be at Starbucks. Now imagine on a busy day, well, even on a day like today, on a Saturday, you won't be able to pull out of here. That's going to be the problem. You're going to have to go to the west or to the north. There's going to be no place to safely or legally make a U-turn, so I wouldn't even attempt that, people. What's going to happen when you've driven all this way from the old location to the new location? You can't park unless you get lucky. And if you don't get lucky, there's no street parking, or very little. You don't want to have to cross that street and get hit by a car, but this is just a very bad idea, people, because how can they put the Toluca Lake Post Office in an area that is not Toluca Lake? Explain that. Even the postal clerk said that. He said, technically, that's not even Toluca Lake. Yeah. What a pain in the... Well, let's continue. Well, here we go. Let's see. Now it is Saturday. Maybe I'll be able to get... Great. Okay. No, somebody almost hit me, but we're okay. Okay. Because it's Saturday and there's not as much traffic, maybe... Oh, here comes somebody out of the drive-thru. Please wait. Thank you. Maybe we'll get lucky and I'll be able to make a left here. Uh-oh. I don't think so. Nope, not going to be able to do it. I knew it. And this is not even a busy traffic day. Now, remember when you're coming out of this post office and you're going in the wrong direction, there's no right on red here. So that's going to take X amount of minutes of your day. Could not safely make a left there. Couldn't even get into the left-hand turn lane to go to Riverside Drive. And I will not. I promise you, I will not make an illegal U-turn. I wouldn't advise that any of you do that either. Just trust me. Don't make illegal U-turns, people. It might come to bite you someday. And no, I don't do it, but I know people that have been in some big trouble with the law trying to make an illegal U-turn. So now I'm headed to the north. I'm going so far from Toluca Lake. And that was on a Saturday where the traffic's not so bad. I'm sure it's less on Sunday, but you know, I don't think the post office will be open on Sunday. What do you think? That used to be a credit union there at that building. Any of the businesses that were there literally went out of business. And then it was graffiti covered very quickly. Yeah, I guess no place is safe anymore. But that is definitely not Toluca Lake, folks. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to Chandler, but I'm going to make a right turn, the closest right I can make where there's a light, and I'm going to make a right on Magnolia to head back towards Toluca Lake. And once again, we're going to have to go through another one of those busy intersections. Oh, we'll just go up on Lancashire. We'll avoid Vineland and Magnolia. Yeah, that's a nightmare. Now, this is Saturday where the traffic is fairly light. Imagine doing this Monday through Friday when you need to do your business at the post office. And you're like, hey, I don't live in North Hollywood. I live in LA, North Hollywood, Toluca Lake. And now I am trying to find the fastest route to crawl my way back to Toluca Lake. And we'll see how many miles it is to the old post office. The original. So are you keeping this straight? Like I said, feel free to fast forward through the driving part of this video if you want. But during the weekday, this area is just a nightmare. And there's no way, no matter which way we come, even if we were able to make a left there, which is super dangerous, I wouldn't recommend it at all, we're still going to have to come through this funky intersection. Unless we just go way to the north and avoid this altogether. But then we're going to be too far to the north. So we're going to have to go through this funky intersection. Here's the main part of NoHo right here. The NoHo Arts District. I didn't know we even had a Cane's. Never been there. That used to be a Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Starbucks. Usually this is about a 6-minute wait. And this is very scary because there is no left-hand turn light here, like a green. When it turns green, you're just going to be out here. And you've got traffic coming from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different directions. Yeah. So there's, besides the lane that I'm in, there's 5 other streets coming at us here. And we're going to just be stuck out in the middle of this, which I hate because there's accidents here all the time. In fact, at the CVS that's coming up on the left, there was an elderly woman that was recently run over right in the driveway there. And she didn't survive. And here we go. That guy in front of us made a sharp left behind him, so it was a semi U-turn, but it really wasn't. I mean, this is crazy. I hate being out here because so many people will run the light at the CVS. Yeah, this is the driveway where, right there, going into the CVS near the hamburger place, the Habit, not the hamburger, the Habit. Somebody got hit right there. So I have to go all the way this way just to turn around. Now I'm not even back to Toluca Lake yet, and I've already driven like a mile and a half. Like, this is, what? We were at mile marker 4 on the odometer. Now we're at 5.7. Yep. And look how long it's going to take us to get, and I'm not even timing the minutes. I'm just, because it just depends on the traffic, how long it's going to be. And it also depends on what streets you're going to cut through. And are you going to drive erratically and have to make a dangerous left and hope that you make it every time you pull out of that post office and you don't get crunched from either end? It's not worth the risk. I don't have time to deal with an accident right now. I wish I could have filmed that guy at the post office, the look on his face when he said that my rumor was the same thing as his rumor. And that he says, technically, that's not even Toluca Lake. I'm like, it absolutely isn't Toluca Lake. This makes no sense. Look. Ugh. those of you not from LA, you're probably totally confused, like, what's LA? What are the cities within LA? And what are the neighborhoods within LA? And then there's sub-neighborhoods within the neighborhoods. And okay, now we're back in Toluca Lake. In case you haven't figured that out yet from watching these clips, sub-neighborhood of NoHo, city of LA. Now we're over on Foreman. We're going to show you exactly how long that's taken us, mileage-wise, to get from the rumored new permanent location of the U.S. Post Office, which is not expected to happen until sometime in 2026. And this whole mess, like I said, I guess it started in 2022, 2023. I have to look back at my videos. I remember when we had the great winter storm and there was a big hole at that corner. They dug a big hole that was about 30, 40 feet deep into the ground, and it flooded, and all the construction fences blew down in a storm. Yeah, I think I have that on one of my prior videos. The storm, the great winter storm of Toluca Lake. Doesn't happen very often, does it? Now, I've already driven 2.7 miles. And no, I didn't take the shortest route, but, you know, I just wanted to show you that 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to make that left out of there. It's just going to be impossible. So you'll have to drive to the west towards the big Gelson's. That's at Laurel Canyon in Riverside, or you'll have to drive to the north onto Hunga and go up towards Magnolia, which is just a few blocks short of the 91601 post office. Are you getting confused yet? Okay, I see the new neighborhood little micro Gelson's on the left. It says Gelson's Fresh Market coming soon. Is that what they're going to call it? Like Gelson's Fresh Market. And we are back where we started the video. Almost. And it's 7 miles. So it has taken us 3 miles to get back where the little Toluca Lake trailer post office was. Look at that, over there in that lot behind the 37 unit apartment building that's above the Gelson's Market, which hasn't even opened yet. Yeah. Well, I guess the whole point of this video was to show you where the proposed new post office is going to be. And you know what? It might actually be faster to go to NoHo 91601, where I went earlier in this video to drop off that package. It might be faster to get there because at least you won't have to make a left or a U. It's just crazy. For you Tolucans that have managed to watch this whole video, if you have, I thank you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please let me know in the comments, you Tolucans, what do you think about this mess? This has just gone on for way too long.